Okay. And no, I'm not planning on shooting you, but that's like weird in a chair.
I'll be 100% honest. I'm more comfortable like that. I think if you go like that, I might have a chance to defend myself. If you draw it, I'm fucked.
Let's see here. We will. New project. It's been so long since we've done this. I forgot what I'm doing.
God, we're not gonna have to go back to having a 3-hour conversation and recording 10 minutes of it. They've taken a shitload of rain out of the forecast. Thank God.
We sure don't need it. I have no idea how much central Indiana got, but it's a lot.
I went by Tippy Dam, and it's, just a little bit of a squiggle after the dam from the water. It's high.
I honestly, I could not believe all the water that was down there in Greentown.
You know the guy that bought our lake house did not put flood insurance on it. Because the closing office, they're like, we just want to make sure you know this. And the realtor said, we just want you to know that, that's usually the first lake to flood. Like, I could be wrong, but Tippy takes our shit. Like, we're quite a bit higher than Tippy. That's why there's a lock. But yeah, Tippy's usually bitching about water before we are. But yeah, he didn't put, which they didn't make us put flood insurance, because we put more than 20% down. But he put like 40%. So
yeah,
that's stupid. He asked me how high the water gets. I said last year it was over the seawall. Like it took another foot to get in, but once again, we could have got a foot. A foot of water's at that point was probably another inch or two.
Right.
And they fucked it up because, over Ridner Lake, that they've swaled out that ditch that runs between Ridinger and where Bill used to live in the channel system.
Yeah.
So we can get water into the lake really fast. But Oswego, that creek, it's still fucking just overgrown and prone to log jams. I'll shut up.
No, you're good. It's interesting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been on and we never had a lake house. I mean, we had a cottage, but I mean, I haven't. The last time I had a lake cottage that I spent like ample amounts of time at was 1987.
Damn near still shitting green. You get the bike out at all?
No.
This year is what I'm saying.
Not yet.
No.
I had seriously thought about it last week. No. Not last weekend. Because last weekend I was working on the truck.
Yeah.
And I had 4-H kids on Saturday.
I mean, weather's coming back around. That's the hardest thing. I like the weather down south, but like Gatlinburg was fucking 80s.
Hang on, let's talk about this on a podcast.
I'm waiting for some derelict.
We're recording. What?
What Fox event did you get that from?
The chili party.
All right. I'm not the one that says go on this. Put your finger down. No, you put that down. I know the kind of water you drank growing up. You can't be doing that.
All right. Welcome to a BS podcast. Mark and Bobby back with you. And I'm just going to start off by saying, for now on, if we advertise an event on the podcast, and then I go and you don't go because you feel it's more important to go on a family vacation, and we don't do a recording of the podcast for 2 weeks in between, I'm dragging you with you. Your family can go on vacation without you so you can take some of the browbeating.
Well,
I got asked a lot yesterday, hey, where's my podcast?
That is crazy that people are actually that people actually even know that we're doing this.
It was really good. Everybody, we had a lot of positive comments. I had a few folks that heard us talking about it and then started asking questions about it. So I was showing some folks how to find it and stuff like that. So
I definitely wanted to be there. I think that's a experience, or it's a event that you just have to experience. But yeah,
I'm not going to lie. If there's ever been a Hoosier Firewood Hysteria to miss, it was 2025.
Yeah.
It was the soggiest Saturday I've ever experienced.
We had clear skies in 90. I don't know what you're complaining about.
Yeah. So I didn't get down to the Veterans Campground on Friday as early as I'd planned. My goal was to be down there I was planning on leaving here at 8. That way I knew I'd be there 9:30, because it's only like an hour and a half drive south. And, well, with all the overtime we've been working, I didn't have, and I spent last weekend putting the truck back together.
Hey, you could have used my truck. We didn't know that until like an hour and a half before we left, but
that's all right. It forced me to finally sit down and fix the truck. So I got the truck fixed last weekend. Got pinion bearings in it, a U-joint that I didn't know I needed. And I finally got the second U-joint, because apparently nobody in town keeps 2 U-joints for a drive shaft. Why would we do that? You know. But, so I didn't have anything ready. My plan was Thursday night after work, I was going to come home and get the tractor on the trailer, at least have all of that stuff ready. That way Friday morning I could get up, go work out, and then I was going to come home, shower, throw my change of clothes in the car, load chainsaws in the truck, and I was going to boogie. Well, I got a score on some white oak. So Thursday night after work, I went and cut a load of white oak, threw that in the truck, come home, come up, had stopped and picked myself some dinner up, because Carmen, she had something going on Thursday night, so she wasn't home right after work either. So I just stopped and grabbed something in Columbia City. Come home, I come up here in the barn and sat down to eat it. I fell asleep eating my food. Must have been about 9:30ish, because it was after 9 when I got home. I wound up taking about a 15-20 minute nap. No, it was longer than that, because I woke up, it was like 10:30, and realized, holy crap, I fell asleep, I gotta go unload the truck. So I went outside, unloaded the truck, pulled up to the house, I went inside, went to bed, got up, and then so Friday morning I had to basically get everything together Friday morning. So I didn't leave here till almost noon. I was hoping I could be out of here by 11. That didn't work out. But anyways, I get down to the campground on Friday, and I guess people started showing up at like 8:30 Friday morning, which just like baffled me. There was several of guys says, yeah, we came in Thursday night, which was kind of cool. So when I got there, like pretty much all of the wood was already cut and staged for splitters. So like the only people that were running chainsaws on Saturday, there were guys trimming logs we wound up with 3 processors there. I don't know what the one was. There were some guys that showed up with their personal processor. Typhoon was there, and then Easton Made was there with one of their EVO processors. So there were some guys that were having to trim logs for the processors, and then we had some pretty good sized rounds. Like I want to say there was some over there. It had to have been 48, I'll say 4 foot to 5 foot roughly. 4 foot to 4.5 foot. So there were some guys that were ripping those up on Saturday, but it was like it misted rain all morning, but it had rained so hard Friday night that there was water just standing everywhere. I mean, you couldn't pull off the driveways and stuff if you were in a car or a truck we had several people, several folks tried to go around stuff, got stuck. It was a mess. But overall, as wet and miserable as the day was, the event went really, really well. Mike texted me this morning, or texted all of us that kind of helped him get stuff ready for it, and said that it was, he figured it about 50 cord that we split Saturday.
Wow.
So I don't remember how many dump trailers we had going. We were producing, and I don't even know how many splitters we had. 3 processors, and I'm going to guess there was close to 20, maybe 24 wood splitters out there running.
Wow.
Because where I was at, because I had Mike's dump trailer hooked to the back of my tractor, and so I had 2 Wolf Ridge 22 RSs and all wood, muscle wood, feeding into that dump trailer. And so there was those. If I had to guess, I'm gonna say 20 to 24 wood splitters were out. Commercial wood splitters. Split Fire showed up. I don't remember how many of their splitters they had out running. They had a few of their new vertical machines that are really, really interesting. Very reasonably priced. I don't know that I looked at them. I'd like to go down and spend some time running Jennings and get a feel for it. I don't know if I know it doesn't have as much power as like an Easton Made or a Wolf Ridge vertical, but I think for somebody that wanted a smaller vertical splitter that has like a bagging, like makes bagged or bundled firewood and sells it, like they have an electric option for it. Like I would buy one of those, stick it in my garage, and I would throw IBC totes of firewood in my garage. Or like for me, using the little wood wagon, I would throw a load of wood in that, haul it up there. I could back all that stuff in the shop on a rainy, crappy day, and man, you could run that thing inside.
Are split fires kinetic? Or is that
no?
Oh, okay.
No, they're hydraulic. But so they were there. The Wolf Ridge crew was there. Easton Made was there. Easton Made, I don't remember. They brought several pieces of equipment down that were sold that people had bought. Because I seen, I know a guy bought an Easton Made Axis that was there. And then I was watching the guys from Maryland. I think they loaded up a splitter and I think a skid steer splitter attachment from Easton Made when they were leaving to go home.
Well, on 69 heading north on our way home.
Yeah, you said you seen a processor.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was the one at the show or not. I didn't think to ask Mike about that.
It'd be if it's one of the 3 people that listened to us. It was an Ohio plate Chevy truck, 4-door truck, I believe. But yeah, it was either way. It was kind of funny because I seen that and I'm like, well, this is kind of an odd spot for that to be. But if they're heading to Ohio, maybe.
Yeah, I'll text Mike later to find out because he'll probably know.
Yeah, well, that is. It's funny, we had Mike on, and he wasn't saying he doesn't want to keep growing it. His goal isn't to make this what is it, Paul Bunyan show or anything.
Right.
It just kind of seems that's where it's heading for you guys almost.
I think if we, like where we're doing it at, the only trouble we ran into, like the campground, like I've got some video of it so you'll be able to see it. I didn't get video at the end. It was rainy and crappy and I was done and I was over.
Yeah.
Like, well, I talked to you on my way home last night. I wrote the only thing on me and I had on my raincoat. I didn't have on rain pants. I can't wear rain pants.
You said you were driving home naked, man. Just get to it.
I wasn't naked. But like I seriously, like, my jeans were stuck to me. And so I threw my wool blanket over my seat, sat on that so I could drive home. And I just turned the heat on high and boogied north. I had a change of clothes in my truck, and I was like, I am cold.
You were
I'm
past
wet,
that point.
I am past Karen. I'm in the truck, and I did.
Yeah.
I hauled the mail home. If I knew that they had room to deal with more wood, or even if they picked a spot outside and says, look, just pile it up here and then we can move it, because the campground has a backhoe, like an old case backhoe. So they would have a way to move the wood back up to the barn. And is it going to dry as fast in a pile sitting out in the elements? Honestly, I think down there, compared to their wood barn, I think it'd probably dry even faster because it's out in the air. But if they had a spot where we could just pile up some of it, like in the corner or something, something where it'd be easy for them to move up to the wood barn as they need it, I think you could expand it there. It's just, we would definitely need more dump trailers and stuff like that, though. It was just, you just couldn't. I mean, we had so many splitters. The processors were running. All these splitters are running, and then people would have to stop because we would have all these trailers full, and then nobody could do anything because we were waiting to dump the dump trailers. And it's because we're putting it in this wood barn. You'd back up, you'd dump, and then we got a guy on a skid steer with a big landscape bucket on it, and he's shoving all the wood into because you can't raise the dump trailers all the way up inside the wood barns.
So logistics are kind of...
So, yeah, I mean, part of it is we're working with what the campground has.
Yeah.
But there was just so much wood being produced, we couldn't move it away fast enough and get back to them. So, but even then, I mean, we were still done splitting by 6 o'clock, and we started at 9, and we took an hour and 20-minute break for lunch. But like the morning up until lunch, it just misted rain. After lunch, it just rained. It was miserable after. If it had stayed like it was in the morning Saturday, the afternoon would have been fine. Now, I will say this. Somebody made this point to me, and I think it's a valid point.
Split your wood in the winter like a normal person?
Well, yes, because there was a lot of that. There was, as a matter of fact, somebody come up to me and says, I've never seen you make a firewood video where you were outside splitting in this kind of weather. I says, snow, cold, rain, not me. But anyways, what somebody said to me was, we're out there doing this for the veterans, and especially like the guys in Vietnam and stuff, and some of the climates and stuff that these veterans have had to endure to ensure our freedom. Us suffering for a day in the rain is nothing compared to what a lot of those people have. So we should just not complain and be thankful for it. And he was exactly right. My biggest fear was I don't want to get sick.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a good day to catch pneumonia. But no, it went great. It was there was more people there than ever's been there. We had people from all over the country. Even ran across a pipe smoker while I was there. Guy from Minnesota.
Oh boy.
So
hey, Mike still have his pipe?
Sounds like he's pretty much given up on that.
Yeah, good boy.
So.
No, that's a neat event. I have every intention. I'm gonna be at the one next year. Life happens always, but
yeah,
that is I'd like to go. Other than the fact, I was thinking about it. Hasn't it rained every year you've went? Or not, it hasn't water always been an issue?
So, I don't remember if it rained last year or not. The year before, it stormed Friday night, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But see, the first year, I just went down Saturday.
Okay.
I got up and went down Saturday morning. Last year, I went down on Friday, because last year I broke the tractor when I got there, because I was lazy. Here, I don't ever use the ramps on the trailer to load and unload the tractor. And there was a hole right behind the trailer last year, and I wasn't paying any attention to it. Backed the tractor off the trailer, and the back wheels went in that hole, and the trailer popped up and smacked the suction housing on the transaxle on the tractor and cracked it. And I didn't notice it until Saturday when it was sitting in the grass and had leaked all 7.5 gallons of low viscosity high guard. It's quite expensive. All over the grass.
Yeah. Well, and that's...
The good news is the grass was green there this year. So apparently the low viscosity high guard didn't kill the grass.
No, that's good, man. I like to see it's a great cause, and it's cool the way you talk about you have different companies there, and I think it works because it isn't a show.
Well, and that's the thing. To me, there's a whole bunch of people that show up and just want to run different splitters because they're in the market to buy a splitter.
Yeah,
or to see like Easton Made and Wolf Ridge both had conveyors there. Well, I think the Easton Made conveyor is Mike's. But still, I mean, it's a 24-foot Easton Made conveyor. And then, of course, they
Your
have...
eyes twitching.
Is it? I haven't had enough coffee this morning.
I thought you maybe had too much. Anyways.
But no, the Wolf Ridge had 2 or 3 conveyors there. And of course, like the Access machines, some of those have the attached conveyors because you can get them with or without. And people that are listening, I'm not saying this to poke fun or anything like that. But after seeing an all-wood setup with Wolf Ridge 22 RSs on either side of it, and don't get me wrong, the guy that has the all-wood made the comment, the wood wasn't 16, 18 inches in length. It's campfire wood. We're cutting that crap up as fast as you can. If you think I'm going to measure it out so it's all 16 inches, there's, like we said, there's approximately someplace plus or minus approximately 50 cords of firewood when we were done. I mean, we ain't got time to make all this stuff perfect, and it's going in fire rings at a campground. Those people don't care. They want stuff that burns. If you don't believe me, and you didn't have the opportunity to meet the cavalryman, next year we'll have to introduce you to him. That dude's 15 Budweisers in at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. He's
hilarious. Anybody that was there the first year will know who I'm talking about. But so like there was a lot of pieces you couldn't even put in all wood. And then I watched him have to sledgehammer 2 or 3 pieces off the big 6-way wedge. And the dude that I was helping keep his splitter clear, so I was just taking wood off the end of the splitter between empty and dump trailers. That dude's got a 22 RS with a 4-way on it. And he was grabbing the nastiest, crotchiest pieces of gnarly firewood he could find in the pile, I swear to you, and running it through this 22 RS. And like last year, we did that with Jeremiah's 22 RS, because I think I told you about that, because Chris Wolf was there last year. And we found this knotted up, gnarly, it was a piece of pine, but if I don't care what anybody says, you get into the limb lines on a pine tree, that's some of the nastiest stuff in the world to split. I mean, it is harder than a brick. And we stuck that on Jeremiah's with a 4-way on it, and it just walked right through it. No, it didn't phase it. And like I said, I'll give some of it to the all-wood because it did have that big 6-way on it, and I know that's going to create more resistance. But I still on the muscle woods, or all wood. Well, on the muscle woods, I've never used any of their smaller ones, or even seen their smaller machines run. But on the muscle woods, I just think the main wedge itself is too thick. You know, like on Easton Made or a Wolf Ridge, their main wedge, their single wedge, if you will, they're like 1 inch. And then on the muscle woods, that main wedge has got to be 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches thick. And it's just a giant hunk of iron. Because their wedge to change out from like a single to a 4-way, a 6-way, a 12-way, whatever it is they offer. Their wedge is like 2 pieces with a gap in it. And when you slide the wedge, the multi-way wedge in it, it goes into this gap, and then there's a strap that goes over, and you have to bolt it all back together. So, and they're like 5/8, maybe 3/4 bolts, diameter bolts. So I mean, that piece of metal's got to be fairly thick to be drilled and tapped. And I don't know, I ran Heath and Rachel's muscle wood the first year we had the Hoosier Firewood Hysteria, and I was really impressed by theirs. It's a big gnarly machine. It's not nearly as fast as an Easton. Like to me, if you're going for speed and efficiency, you get into I think Easton Made just really kind of captures that speed market, and they have a ton of power. Wolf Ridge makes some fantastic stuff, but it just you just don't get quite as much speed off the Wolf Ridge stuff as you do the Easton Made. So I mean, and some people that's a huge deal. Other people it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So it boils down to what really it's what you want.
And I think you've made the comment too before. It's you at a certain point, one person can only go so fast.
Yeah.
And you know, chasing the speed numbers kind of like chasing the horsepower numbers sometimes. It's you got it, but really do you need it?
And see, that's like when you get into some of the really crazy like an Access or an Ultra. Like those are probably the fastest 2 splitters from Easton Made. Maybe a 24D. I don't remember. But like that stuff, the thing that allows like me as an individual, like running one of those with the speed, the single way wedge, I would want that speed just because I know when I pull the wood back, I'm not waiting on the cylinder to retract. I know that the splitter's ready to go when I drag that piece of wood back in front of the wedge. So and it really boils down to if you're doing it by yourself, if you got a small crew of people. You know, there's a lot of variations, but I got way off subject there. But I guess my whole point to this conversation is that's the thing that makes Hoosier Firewood Hysteria great, is if you're in the market, that's the place that you can go and you can run wood. Like you go to the Paul Bunyan show, and it's great because you can get up and close and personal with the machines. Some of the places will let you run the splitters, but you're going to get to split a piece of wood. You know, they're going to put
pre-chosen wood.
They're going to grab a round of wood, set it up on the splitter, and you're going to get to run that one round through the splitter. Or they're going to run it through so you can see it operate, depending on the manufacturer. Dude, we had a boatload of tree service wood. I mean, so you weren't getting ideal.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't all ideal firewood. Some of this stuff is pretty nasty and knotty and crotchy and just the worst firewood to produce on the planet. And then on top of it, yesterday it was wet. So I can't imagine a better way to demo a log splitter than going to Hoosier Firewood Hysteria.
Yeah.
And then definitely getting a lot of industry support. I think we talked about, so like we said, Easton made, Wolf Ridge, Split Fire, and those guys were super cool. I got to talk to them for just ever so slightly on Friday after I got there while they were unloading. Super good dudes. Really nice machines. That would be they're in a price point that I would consider for my operation, because me, and in all honesty, if I got something that'll split in you know, a 6-second cycle time, that's as good as I need by myself. I mean, I can't, I'm not going to move faster than that. This is a hobby for me, and all I'm doing is supplying wood to heat my house and make boiler wood for you when I don't like the wood. But no, great event. Definitely something people need to get to. And then we had a lot of great industry folks that sent in stuff for the raffle. I don't remember how much the raffle raised. It was, I might have it on that text. I want to say it was right. Well, I ain't even gonna look. I want to say it was right around $1,500 that the raffle raised. Nice. So that got donated to back to the veterans organization. What else? But yeah, we had, I think I've talked about some of them before. Logrite sent stuff. Logox sent stuff. Egan Performance. I don't remember. And then there was a whole bunch of the people that came to the event that brought stuff to throw out on raffle stuff as well.
I see you're wearing a new shirt.
No, this isn't new.
Oh, okay. Never first time I've seen you. I thought maybe it came from a raffle.
No. Actually, I got this from Todd last year at Hoosier Firewood Hysteria.
Okay.
So I'm wearing a Todd's Outside Again sweatshirt. He was we chat a little bit about his new toy. He bought a new Coyote tractor recently, and his son Evan come up from he's at same age as Hadley, and he's at college, and he made the trip up from college to the event and spent the weekend helping out. And the campground rented a skid steer, so we had an extra skid steer to use. And Evan was helping push stuff with the skid steer. And I walked over and told Todd, I was like, it's probably a good thing he bought a tractor, not a skid steer. I said, I'm pretty sure that kid's fearless in that skid steer. He had that thing almost on the back door.
Oh, wow.
He was climbing the wood pile with it. Todd told him, quit doing that. He's afraid he's going to have a piece of wood come back and knock the glass out.
Wow.
But
wow.
It was a good time.
Good.
So, but how was vacation?
It was a good time.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Did you Scooby dive?
Yep. We dove a couple spots. So we did the typical Midwest family thing, except for it wasn't timed right. The week before our kids' spring break, we took them out of school, so we go to Florida because that's just what makes sense. But you know, I had to.
I never let school stop us from taking Hadley out.
That was, you know, and maybe, I mean, was it like it when you took Hadley out of school? Did you have to tell them you could tell them like educational? or Carmen. Like Katie handles it for us.
Carmen always handles.
Yeah.
We told them in advance because it was usually when we were leave for Christmas.
Yeah.
So like Hadley would be having finals and stuff, and I know the one year, she had a teacher that was like just absolutely hell-bent on having their final the last day of school before Christmas break, and we weren't there.
Yeah.
And we called in and told them that, hey, we're going out of town for a family function.
Yeah.
Which wasn't totally a lie.
Yeah.
I mean, it was family vacation, so it was a family function.
It's educational, and that's truly how I look at it. Like if they take that away, it's like, where are you going? We're going to Florida.
It's
like,
none of their business.
No, it's not. And I ain't trying to get that one going.
I'm taking her to a crack house. What's it to you?
Yeah. All right. So I did introduce her to drugs in Gatlinburg. One of the dispensaries there has a big pot plant or 2 pot plants.
Oh yeah.
They're like, what's that? That's weed. It stinks. I'm like, you cannot smell this. But either way, so yeah, we went to Florida, did some diving. We went to the first thing my wife wanted. She was hell bent on. She wanted to go to the Atlantic side. She wanted to look for shells, and we were way too far north to. We found some, and everybody but me got sunburnt. But that was a good time. We dove at.
Did you not get sunburnt because you were in your work uniform?
No, I'm half Italian. We don't get sunburnt. We just get dark. And I gotta take that back. I do get red. Like I get red. I have none of the pain. I'm red for like a day, and then it just fades to tan. But like Alyssa's like you. Alyssa somehow got some dormant Irish gene that if we leave the lights in a room on too long, she's burnt. Regardless, so our first dive is a dive resort. It's called the Blue Grotto, and I doubt there's too many people that are divers listening to us. You know, it seems like it's pipe smokers and chainsaw fanatics. If you ever have a chance,
hey. Leave my people alone. I love these people.
I tell Katie, because she asked about the podcast. I says, well, it's kind of morphed into a tobacco podcast, but we went.
We haven't even talked about tobacco.
I know, and I haven't asked you on purpose. I'm going to ask, Bob.
We're going to. We have something we need to discuss on that.
But yeah, so we went to this resort. It's called the Blue Grotto. It is. It's just a natural spring. Florida obviously has a couple of those. But it's really cool there, and that was there's my kids. We were going there to further our dive abilities, and my kids we're doing some navigational testing. Like, this is the test. You've played around, now it's time for the test. Me and Alex, we've done some stuff together. I don't have the patience. Alex is just like Katie. They're real laid back. Me and Alyssa are both ADHD. So me and Alyssa were going to be partners. We're doing this navigation test. It's Katie and Alex. They're doing the test. We're following them exactly how the instructor says so. I'm swimming along, and I'm just focused on ahead of me, trying to give myself some advantage for the test. And we get to the point marked. They did just fine. Turn around. Now it's our turn to do the test. Where's my daughter? Oh, she's over trying to pet fish. And she was petting them. But so the Blue Grotto is an awesome. If you dive, if you want a reason to go to Florida, they will. Florida Springs Scuba is in Williston, Florida. You go there. You talk to Toby and her husband. They'll get you hooked up with gear. We brought our own gear, rented tanks, because that's what you do. They'll get you hooked up with everything you need. She is so knowledgeable. The list of accolades that I forget his name. He's super cool. He's the kind of guy that you want diving with you if a shark comes up, because it's like, I'm pretty sure this dude's gonna spit the regulator out of his mouth and throw down and put that shark in a headlock.
I still don't know if you wrestled the alligator.
Yeah, this is a swamp puppy. But, so regardless, those two,
So that's a no.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Those two were great. Blue Grotto, it's a whole dive resort. You can stay there if you want. They'll fill your tanks. If you want to do some cave diving, if now, and it's important, if you've been cave diving, you can go there. You know, you can't. Nobody's stopping you, but you don't get yourself into situations that you're not geared up for, or you don't have somebody who knows what they're doing. But that was the first day. We kind of got stuff done a little bit quicker than we thought. So we went to Rainbow River Springs. I think I'm saying it right. It's what's called a drift dive, meaning you don't really have to kick much. I'm gonna do some TikToks on it. It's the new production company. This is gonna be part of that. But there was some 3-foot gar there. I think I seen a 4-footer. I just didn't want to whip the camera around real quick and scare it, because we're Northern Pike and we got gar around here, but you don't get close to them. I was from me to you from these gar, and every
we used to go gigging for gar on Ridinger when I was a kid.
Yeah, but I don't know their behavior, like walleye or something like that. They just do whatever. You kind of know how bluegill are on their beds, and these gar were acting like that, like they were on protecting beds. I mean, I wasn't sitting here trying to see how hard a gar can bite, and especially big ones. But so we got some good video of that. Lost my snorkel. That really sucked because those things aren't cheap. Got done there. Went to Manatee Springs. We were just going to snorkel there because we burned up all of our gas, and we did enough dives by that point. So anybody's been diving, it takes a lot out of you because you're putting a lot of nitrogen in you,
right?
And it's hard on you. So we went there. Of course, I didn't have a snorkel, and out of everybody in my family, I'm pretty much the one that's the least in shape for that. Like my kids, they'll dive underwater for however long and come back up, and I'm like they're forgetting to breathe. But Manatee Springs is where I sent you the pictures with that gator.
Yeah.
And where we were diving was like 50 yards from where the gator was. And there were people, they're like, oh no, you got to watch out. It's like, here's something, and this isn't advice. Alligators in Florida aren't stupid. Like they know, they've been around longer than us. They're prehistoric animals. Wear a wetsuit.
Dinosaurs.
Because they know that Florida spends, the government used to pay if a gator ate you or bit you and you had a wetsuit on, it'd make the gator sick. They'd poison them, the neoprene would.
Yeah.
They've kind of learned that. Government used to pay for that. They don't anymore. They'll charge you. So not only do you get attacked by an alligator, then you got to pay to get its stomach pumped. No, same thing you're going through your head is what was in my head. It's like, this is Florida. This might as well be Texas.
That alligator getting Crocodile Dundee.
My gun bag was closer to me than our first aid kit. It's like, if something happens, you just toss this thing to me. I promise you, something's happening. But we were on, so Florida's Manatee Springs. It was too warm. The manatees already moved out. It's on the Swanee River. But it was great. Then we went to, well, I called you because I'm like, Katie said something about Gatlinburg. I says, I have the Gatlinburg, like, guru, old Bobby. So she everywhere you said to go, well, obviously in good places because they were all sold out. I can't believe that a day before you can't get. But went to Gatlinburg. It's like I was telling Carmen earlier when we were talking. It wasn't my thing. And I need to stress this. I think the mountains were it was such a thing to me in the mountains. I don't think anything would have lived up to it. It'd have to have been a water sport for me to. It was cool, but it just wasn't.
And see, because it has changed so much since I've been going down there. And like I said, we started going down there in the late 80s.
Yeah.
And, there's 10, 20 times as many people there now as there was when we would go.
Yeah.
And so it's way, way more crowded. The thing is between as many times as we would vacation there, and then Carmen's dad living, within the vicinity of there, we know all the places to hide from the tourists.
Yeah.
We like to stay in the touristy area because we can walk to food and you know, in the morning I don't have to drink crappy hotel coffee. I can I couldn't believe it. Hadley told me I drank bougie coffee. It's like,
oh yeah, you do. I followed your footsteps. If everywhere you told me you go, we went, and you drink bougie coffee. I see. There was so much bougie mustache, whatever the mustache wax in that place. It stunk like it. And we're talking about the donut fryer, so shout out to the donut fryer. I don't get
the bougie coffee at the donut fryer. I get black coffee.
We go there and they're like, we got apple pillows. I should yell explicit before I start cussing, but I won't. What the heck is an apple pillow?
It's like just a fluff pastry with
bougie.
like... I don't eat them. I don't like that puff pastry.
Yeah, I never did it.
I really cool. My favorite thing from there is a date bar.
If you ever go there, it's like going to a Coney dog stand, except for because you go in. If you use the ATM there, they give you a free whatever, like a free coffee or something.
Yeah,
I'm sure the ATM.
But it is cash only.
Yep.
And that's the part that kills me when we go there. There's a giant sign on the door, cash only, ATM inside. And then you stand in line in there. It used to, you didn't have to stand in line unless you were there at, 5 a.m. getting fresh hot donuts. And now you walk in and you're standing in line because there's a bunch of dummies that can't read the giant sign on the door that says cash only. I mean, it's a giant sign that's white with red lettering on it.
Yeah.
It's a carved sign. So, like, it's a textured sign. It's really eye-catching.
Yeah.
And they still go in and they're up there and they're handing credit cards across the counter. It's like, people, this is an old-school redneck vacation destination. Yeah. This place still takes cash.
Well, and you imagine how much your coffee'd be. A 2% processing fee and plus a quarter every time you... Yeah, I get it. That's me and Al actually had a conversation about cash only stuff earlier.
Well, we went out to dinner last weekend with Carmen's dad was here, and he was like, looked at me like I was nuts because I paid for supper Saturday night with cash. And he's like, I use my credit card because I get 3% cash back. I was like, I paid with cash because, well, I like using cash and nobody knows where I spent it.
Yeah. I got it. I'm with Carl.
Well,
I'm not saying anything bad, cash.
And don't get me wrong, I do the same thing because most of my budget when I went to Muletown was I redeemed the cash back off of my credit card. I hadn't redeemed it in like a year and a half.
It was, but no, we went into the mall. So by the end of the trip, I had my fill of people. And Katie's like, "Are you getting Bob the tobacco?" I said, "He'll forgive me."
I'll forgive you.
I'm sorry. I did. I can't say I forgot or anything. There was just a lot of people, but it was really cool because there was that band. There was a high school marching band, and they went right out in front of the Pancake House or whatever. That place must be really good, or the only
Which
place
pancake
open.
place?
Right by the donut fryer.
The pancake pantry.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing to me it's not that good.
Oh, why in the heck is there a line?
It's a staple in that town. It's like that every morning. But the line will go, I've seen the line go from the front door around past the candy shop, back past the donut fryer, and there's a walk that goes out to Baskins Creek Road. I've seen the line into the sidewalk to Baskins Creek Road. Yeah. It's insane.
Well, I got to witness that high school marching band with the Smoky Mountains in the background play Old Rocky Top. And it's like, and Katie didn't understand it. I says, no, this match, that means something, what they're doing there. And, once they were done, because the guy who runs the donut fryer, he left the two boys. He went out there to watch it, but no, it was a good trip. Definitely We'll be back. We'll go back down there to do some diving, but it's going to be driving at night.
Yeah.
I love driving through the mountains, but they've let too many people get CDLs and they don't understand. Like the guys who are driving it, even the semi drivers at night, because going down, what is it, south of Nashville? Is that 70?
On 75?
Okay.
No, you can get onto 75 south of Knoxville, or south of Nashville. You have to cut across or something.
Is it 75?
65 goes through Nashville, 75 goes through Knoxville.
So probably 65 we were on. I forget. You go up the mountain, you come down the mountain. There's no meandering, and you get to the top, every single semi pulled over, at the check your brakes area. And they were good. And then you go down, it's like 30 miles. And then there's breakdown lanes, shut them down lanes. Coming back the way we did to end up on the back side of the park, it wasn't like that. Or even leaving. I guess it was leaving because it was during the day. Like, we're going down and we're into some Nissan and I'm no idiot. I mean, I've driven hills before, so I'm not using the brakes. I'm just downshifting the car.
Yeah.
And I'm getting passed by semis, and you can smell how hot their brakes are. It's like, we're letting that guy get in front of us because he's going to get in front of us or he's going to go through us.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Well, and that's the thing. And there's, from traveling and stopping at truck stops and stuff, I have noticed the last few years that we had a couple times when we would stop, they're letting these guys, they come over from other countries. They get work visas. They become U.S. Whatever the case is. Heck, they may be illegal. I don't know. But they come over here. They get CDLs, and then they're 3 deep in a truck, and that truck never stops. The only time it stops is for fuel.
Yeah, and it's got a hole right above the drive shaft.
Yep.
Yep. So real quick. I don't know where anybody lands on this. I'm guessing I have a guess of where people do. If you were at a stop sign in any town and there's a homeless person, and that homeless person is not juggling, do not give them money. We see this guy in Gainesville, Florida. He is juggling. And then the homeless guy across, on the oncoming traffic is screaming shit at him. And I'm like, give me money. Give me money. Give me money. I was going to throw a $20 bill out there and just see what happened. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like this dude's juggling. This
dude's performing for his welfare.
Yep, he's not panhandling. This is a performance, and it wasn't like
I shouldn't be laughing at this.
He had like 5 or 6 balls going, and the other guy's just out there, just like this looked like Florida Man. That's all he looked like.
With his cardboard sign.
Yep, with the cardboard sign. This dude's juggling, and the other guy's yelling at our guy. It's like, dude, shut up! I'm gonna give him my gun. And like, you gonna go yell at him then? But it was an experience. So yeah, I did. I had fun. I got to see a homeless guy juggle. We got to see some swamp puppies. I didn't. Oh, Buc-ee's gas station.
Never going.
No. You
no,
should. Why?
I'm not.
Why?
Because I'm going to be the only person on the face of this earth that can honestly say in the era of Buc-ee's gas stations, this man died and never went to a Buc-ee's. That's going to be on my headstone.
That and $1 will get you a coffee at Buc-ee's.
I don't care.
Why wouldn't you go? That is a gas station.
It's a Walmart.
No, it is better. It is Costco. It is a Costco of gas stations.
Yeah,
there's like 400
I am
pumps.
mad at them because they took the entire top off of a mountain in Kodak, Tennessee that you really used to enjoy seeing. It was like I knew I was almost to a peaceful place. And they shaved the whole top off the mountain to put in that monstrosity. I refuse to go to Buc-ee's. I don't care how good the brisket is.
What's funny is, now, if people were up there protesting about it, you'd be like, frickin' hippies.
I'd probably help them protest.
And now they took a top off. Like, why didn't you outbid them when they were opening that up to sell the ground? Why didn't you just bid more than Buc-ee's did?
I didn't know they were selling it.
Yeah, there we go. Hold on. Let me get my boots on.
When we were coming back from South Padre a couple years ago, that was like when I really, I'd seen people post stuff about Buc-ee's, but I had no clue at that time what Buc-ee's was.
Everything that people tell you.
So we're driving from South Padre back home. Yes, we are the psychopaths that drove 23 hours
Your
from
wife
northern
was.
Indiana. No, I had to drive part of it.
Oh, sorry.
She drove a lot of it because she thinks I drive like a psychopath.
She's right. You get so mad. Like,
I've never been mad in my life.
you get mad.
I may have a slight tick for road rage.
Yeah.
But no, after seeing the billboards, I looked at Carmen and I was like,
Buc-ee's 400 miles.
I am pretty sure that if we could have their billboard budget for the state of Texas, you and I could retire.
Yeah. There's one in Michigan, like advertising the ones by Tennessee.
I am dead serious. As we were coming up out of South Texas, we were coming up the highway, and I seen a billboard that said we'd just passed a Buc-ee's. And the next billboard I see says Buc-ee's, 99 miles. They had a billboard every mile for 100 miles on that interstate.
Oh, yeah.
It counted down till you got to the next exit that had a Buc-ee's.
If you'd go there, you'd see how they can afford it. So we went like...
It's because psychos like you go in there and give them your money.
Yeah, we gave them like $60 and just got food. To me, though, I go on vacation for experiences.
Buc-ee's pajamas. Somebody I know got Buc-ee's pajamas.
So they have the little curly straws that have like a little beaver plastic face. We bought 2 of those for our niece and nephew. I think I'm getting something from Buc-ee's for my birthday, actually. It was if you go by there and you're not like just a pretentious guy like Bob.
I promise, if I ever get anything from Buc-ee's, I will shoot it.
And that's fine. But... And everybody out there needs to know something. Like Bob's saying he's not going to go there. We've had this exact same conversation about Amazon. He's a Prime member now, and Amazon's here every other day.
Amazon's a little different because there's some things where we live at in Indiana I can't buy any place locally.
And that's why I'm not...
And Amazon gets it here in 2 days.
I'm not too worried about it because Buc-ee's is awesome. I don't know. Is it somewhere... You know what the best thing about that place is? It's not gas station people. And I'm not knocking on anybody who has a full-time job at a gas station.
We got to get Brandon on here, and he can tell you about his last trip to Buc-ee's when they were moving his friend's daughters to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
And they stopped at one... I don't know where they were at. It was in the middle of the night. Because they left Indiana at like 9 o'clock at night and drove to Myrtle Beach. And... they stopped at a Buc-ee's someplace, and Brandon says, I went in, he was outside filling his buddy was filling up the truck up. Brandon says, I went inside to use the bathroom. His daughter went inside to get some snacks. And he says, I come out of the bathroom, and he says, there's a Buc-ee's employee hollering at his friend's daughter, and Brandon's like, I ain't getting involved. He says, I went and got a Red Bull and left. And she comes out, and she's just hot. And Brandon turns around and looks at her, says, so what'd you steal? She's like, I didn't steal anything. It sounds like she had her pockets inside out, was like ready to drop trowel to prove to this lady, I didn't steal anything. But the lady at the Buc-ee's was telling her that she was stealing stuff. And Brandon says, I'm pretty sure she didn't take anything.
You go there during the day, you could walk out with a grill. They have grills there, pellet grills. But yeah, I mean, that place is so busy. I don't know. It was a really neat
Hey, y'all, I went to the filling station, bought me a new pellet grill.
Just stop by there. Like, you don't got to buy anything. Just experience it. That is an experience. Like, you're wanting me to go to a Firewood thing for the experience.
That's so they can bash you instead of just me.
No, they ain't going to bash me because I ain't a prick to them. They're going to like me.
I was nice to everybody.
They're going to say, how do you deal with this guy for 2 hours a week? I'm like, it's way more than that. We are each other's punishment. No. So anyways, now that everybody's caught up, let's go ahead and get this podcast started. What are you smoking, and what are you smoking it out of?
I am smoking. So I started, as you know, and I think we might have talked about it a little bit on here. I started another YouTube channel. With my work schedule and stuff, I haven't been able to do as much firewood stuff as I really like. And I'll be honest, you can only record yourself splitting firewood so much, and to me it just gets boring after a while. And I was wanting something else to do, so I started that other YouTube channel, well, YouTube and Rumble channel, and I'm doing just like tobacco content on there. So pipes, cigars. I haven't done a lot of cigar stuff yet, but it'll evolve. But the nice part about it is when I don't have time to and have daylight to get outside and do firewood stuff, I can do a tobacco video in the evening after work, because like it's a one-shot deal. They usually aren't, but 7 to 15 minutes long. I don't edit nothing. I put an intro and an outro on the front of it. I can literally do the whole thing, have it published to YouTube and Rumble. I mean, shot the whole 9 yards, 35 minutes tops. And so I've been getting trying to get involved in some of the YouTube pipe community challenges and stuff like that. And Paladin Piper put out a challenge for the month of April that was called the Codger Challenge. And you were only you had to pick out 4 pipes, and you had to make your own blend of tobacco, which is the tobacco in that jar there that you were sniffing earlier. And you didn't have to use individual components if you wanted to use 2 blends and put them together.
Did you name this?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was the other part of it, is you had to name the blend. So since it's a Codger challenge, I did the only sensible thing, and I based it off of a Codger blend. So that's 2 parts Prince Albert, 1 part Pilgrim's Muse from the Country Squire, and I named it Prince of Pilgrim. April 1st, I started on the challenge, so that's the only pipe tobacco I'm allowed to smoke for the entire month of April.
This right here, or just this blend?
That blend. I have more in the base.
Say that ain't gonna last you the rest of the day.
So that jar was full. That's what I've smoked this week so far.
Since the 1st.
Since the 1st. It's the 6th. That's 6 days. That's not bad. Well, I guarantee there's people who smoke more than that. But and one of the pipes I picked is this Savinelli 673 KS. Great pipe. I love these Savinellis. This is probably my favorite Savinelli shape, honestly. But I was watching a video when I got home last night from one of the other guys here in Indiana that's doing the challenge, and he started asking about other tobacco products. Because he's in some sort of group that does like a blind tasting on cigars once a month. And last night he was like, I didn't want to give that up. So he says, I don't know if I'm still in the challenge or I'm out. Because he's like, I'm only smoking my 1 pipe blend. And I don't ever remember hearing Paladin say in the rules that was the only tobacco you could have. I probably should have asked up front. Heck, I've been disqualified since April the 1st.
No, you're chew?
Yeah, because chew counts.
Well, but you only chewing 1 blend to chew, right?
Yeah, but it's not it's not that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
as an old demolition derbier, you're good. We can bend them rules.
Well, that was the way I thought about it at first. It was like, it was the rules didn't state I couldn't.
Part of that looked green in there. It look like your little green piece. You got a little.
No, I think it's actually a dark brown. It's the light and the lighter colored tobacco next to it makes it look green.
I'll be honest, it don't smell as good as probably these do apart.
No.
It could
be. And so Pilgrim's Muse has got Turkish and Latakia in it, and I don't think you'll care for that. But yeah, so apparently I'm out, which at some extent I'm a little bummed, But at the same token, since I normally smoke 2 or 3 different blends a day, I'm glad I don't have to stick to that.
So you're done after this one then?
No, I'll probably I won't. It won't be the only thing I smoke a day.
Okay.
I mean, if I ain't in it for trying to win something, there's no point in smoking one. There's too many great things in life to enjoy. Why would I want to limit myself?
I don't know. You won't go to Buc-ee's?
That's because I'm sane.
Oh.
I'm not a soulless.
It had nothing to do with being soulless.
Hey, this is my story.
This is just one of them hills that you planted your flag on. And
You're right. You're right.
What? Aren't you going to Florida this year? Or not Florida, Texas?
I don't know. The girls haven't said anything else about it.
I'll remind them.
Don't do that.
And I'll just tell Carmen, here's a $50 bill, go to Buc-ee's, get Bob in there.
We'll be flying if we go, so.
Oh. I can't.
I'm not driving back to South Padre. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. So, that's good.
But what else was I going to... There was something else I wanted to talk to you about. I should start writing stuff down, but...
Yeah.
I don't.
That's... No, that definitely, I don't know. That's weird. We don't have all that much to talk about, and we didn't talk much at all this week. So, You guys still on 12s?
As far as I know. I hope that'll end soon.
I didn't have any text messages from work saying you're fired, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, as far as I know, I'm going to guess we'll probably be on 12s this week. And I'm guessing that'll taper off here soon. Because I think we just about got all those. The one thing we had a whole bunch of to get done were 815 compactors.
Yeah.
And they're getting kind of, I think we're to the tail end of those.
Guess who Al's working for?
Who's that?
Great X.
Really?
Yeah. He's going to be in Wabatucky this week.
Oh, yeah.
So, shoot. As quick as it came, it left. And then there was silence.
Yeah, radios.
I don't think that's what you want.
No.
Right, we're losing.
No radio silence.
We can't be losing people.
That's okay. Remember, we got to keep this under an hour and a half so we don't have to change the battery in the video camera.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Whoa, what's your next trip? What's the next time you're taking work off? You got a bike trip or another? So it's a smoking thing. Aren't you going to Chicago or something?
Yeah, I'm planning to go to the Chicago Pipe Show, but I'm just going for Saturday. I am not staying in Chicago overnight because, well, I respect human life.
It's too much. It's like the Buc-ee's thing. It's like the Buc-ee's thing.
No, I honestly, I don't mind going to Chicago every once in a while, but...
When's that?
That's the first weekend in May.
Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah.
So you're going to do something for my birthday?
You can go with me.
All right, I guess not. I'd have nothing in common with anybody there.
That's the 3rd. That's not your birthday anyway.
Okay, well, sorry.
Isn't your birthday the 5th?
No.
Yes, it is.
It's the 1st.
Your birthday's the 1st of May?
Yeah.
I always thought it was the 5th.
No, well, the 5th of May, other known as like Cinco de Mayo.
Which means the 5th of May.
Yeah. That's why you're,
That's some Mexican restaurant decided, hey, I know how we can get all these gringos to spend a bunch of money.
You don't. You just give us free salsa and chips. We'll do the rest. It's just they've got into the Kohl's theory. Well, we're going to send all these white women all this coupons for 30% off after we've marked something 40% up anyways.
Yeah.
They'll come rushing here. My wife is in the lead. Like, look at all this. Look, she used to say, look at the money I saved you. Like, you staying home saved me money.
Girl math.
Yeah, girl math. Nope.
So, I know what I was going to ask you.
All right.
So you went down there and you went diving and you took your fancy new DJI camera with you.
Oh yeah.
So we got some new Maritime Mark videos coming.
Yes, there will be some. Possibly tonight. That's probably what I would have done if my buddy didn't call me up saying, hey, let's record some.
Hey, I had to. Jeremiah was threatening me.
Well, probably. That's a good thing. No, I will. I'll be getting some.
So I got done. I made sure with Mike and Jenin that everything was good to go, that they didn't need anything else before I left last night. And I just, like I told you, I jumped in the truck. I was like, I didn't even worry about changing my clothes. I peeled off 2 layers, my raincoat and my sweatshirt. I took that stuff off, threw it on the passenger floorboard, and I already had the truck running with the heat on. I got in there, fired me up a great big fat Habano, smoked that thing the whole way home, and I was like to Wabash, and my phone starts going ballistic. Like ding 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 ding. It sounded like a pinball machine. And I looked down, I pulled over and looked down at my phone. There was 21 text messages on my phone. There's a bunch of the guys from Hoosier Firewood Hysteria were trying to get a group of us together to go to supper.
Oh.
And it sucked, man. I wish I'd have known earlier, because Dale told me, he was like, if you want to use the shower and stuff, it might, because I didn't keep my hotel room because I was planning on going home Saturday night. Dale told me, he's like, you can come and, shower and clean up at my room if you need to. I was like, I said, I'll probably just throw on I said, I got a pair of dry pants in the truck. I said, I'm probably just going to throw those on and head home. Well, by the time I had everything loaded, I was well past that idea. And so I just took off, and as I was in Wabash, north of Wabash, because that's where I pulled over and stopped. So, I'm 40 minutes from the house at that point. And I was like, text him, I was like, sorry, fellas, I'm almost home already. So, but in the text message, Jeremiah says, so does that mean we'll have a podcast? I said, I'll do my best. But, him and Jacob King both asked about him on Saturday.
It's April 6th at 2:26, so
it'll go out tonight.
Okay, once this is done, it's on Bob.
And honestly, I've been doing pretty good, because I just usually after we do it, not necessarily immediately, but usually I'll have to do it earlier than that tonight because I have something going on this evening. But I don't have to work tomorrow, so if I stay up till midnight, I'll stay up. So
Where's the dedication?
Huh?
Where's the dedication? Not going to work?
Well, I wasn't sure what time I get home last night, and I knew I had some stuff I needed to get done here today. And I thought, man, if I am doing all that, and I knew we had something going on this evening, and of course, then I got home too. She's feeling better now, but like yesterday, Carmen wasn't feeling good. This morning, Carmen didn't, I went to church by myself this morning. Carmen, her sinus has been all jacked up the last 2 days, and has been having a bloody nose and real bad headaches, so she stayed in bed this morning. And I knew it's not supposed to still be super warm this week, so I need to haul some more wood up. I got a load of wood I need to get unloaded off the trailer, so I got I haven't finished unloading from yesterday. As you noticed, the tractor's still sitting on the trailer. I got out of the truck and was nice and thought I was nice and warm when I got here. But of course, I was still soaking wet. So I got out of the truck and thought, I'm just going to, before I go in and get cleaned up and dry clothes on, I'm just going to unload everything. And when I got home, up here, it hadn't been raining. Like, it quit early in the day raining up here, because by the time I hit Kosciuszko County, the roads were dry. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, no big deal. I grabbed saws out of the truck and started hoofing it over to the barn across the yard. I made that one trip. I went directly to the house, unloaded my wet clothes at the back door, went directly to the shower, and took a hot shower. So after that, I come out and finished unloading the truck, everything except for the tractor. And then I come back down to the barn. we were out of coffee up at the house, so I had to come down here to fix a pot of coffee. And I shot a video real quick for that codger challenge. And then, of course, I got my answer this morning that I've been breaking the rules. So
I guess I
think it's kind of funny, though, because, see...
Pipe tobacco and chewing tobacco aren't the same, though.
Well, and here's the deal. It's a codger challenge, and I'm not trying to complain. I'm not. I mean, it's not my contest, and I was having fun with it. But, like, you can't even really do a codger challenge anymore, because a codger, in the era of the codger, those people smoked all day at work. I mean, I'm probably one of a handful of people that have a job where they can still sit at work and smoke. Well, I can't sit.
It's encouraged at your work.
It's just really hard to close a welding hood over my pipe. I have one. The problem is I hotbox myself so bad that it's... I'm pretty sure that's worse than the welding fumes. So, anyways, you got anything else?
I'm out.
I'm out too. So, hey, Jeremiah, we'll dedicate this episode to you, my friend.
You can still be mad at Bob, though. He deserves it.
Don't listen to Mark.
I've been asking every day. Okay, let's do a podcast. I haven't. I'm lying. I have been asking, though, for you to get something. And have you got it?
No, I'm going to... Okay. That's next on the list. All right. Before I go outside and haul wood, I am going to get the other stuff going. So
I'm excited for that.
But anyways, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope y'all have a good week, and we will talk to you again soon. Take care.
Oh, that's fucked up, though. It's like saying, "Oh, you can't do that. You drink a Coke."
And
it's not your rules.
It's not my rules. It is what it is. It really doesn't. It really doesn't bother me. I'm still honestly debating whether or not to stick to it just to see. But there ain't no way I'm gonna go. If I had to go to work and not chew, I would. Somebody get a claw hammer.
You wouldn't be able to afford pipes after you got thrown in jail.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting. But I honestly, since I'm not in the running anymore, I'll probably continue to smoke it every day. But I'm probably not going to smoke just that. But some of the guys are really not. Their blends haven't worked out quite as well for them.
Yeah.
Which was honestly...
So were you not allowed to try them at first, or?
Yeah, you could, but like I waited till the last minute.
Oh.
So like the contest started on Tuesday, the 1st of April. I put that together at 10 o'clock Saturday night before. And I didn't smoke it at all on...
At least you know what the next one.
Sunday? Yeah, so I smoked it Sunday and made sure it was okay. And I was like, I only smoked a bowl of it on Sunday. And then I thought, well, it wasn't that bad, so I'm just going to run with it. And the more I've smoked it, I think it's all right. Yeah. To me, there's just not, you don't get a lot of, it's not overly complex. So it's not like this is something I can literally just smoke and not think about it. Where there's other stuff I smoke and like you'll sit and you're trying to kind of
take it apart almost.
I can taste this, or I can and you're trying to define, figure out and decide what that taste is, and that's not like that. And part of it's because it's mainly Prince Albert. I mean, that's just like a Burley Cavendish blend, so it's a pretty easy smoke, anyways. But anyway. So did you get your wood done?
I'm going to go home and do that.
You want to take some wood with you?
Oh, I'm never going to turn down wood. Is it too wet?
I don't think so. I'm going to drive out
there. You got some garbage wood?
I got some boiler wood.
Oh.
Well, matter of fact, I can unload the tractor and we can just bring it over and put it in your truck. Won't take that long to do that. I gotta unload the tractor anyways. Look at the plate on the trailer too.
Let's go check it out.
All right. Bye, everybody.